Hello bookish friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drew and this is Drew's Ambitious Reading. And for today's video I am very excited, also it's a very late video, to come at you with my December, listen to that month, December wrap up for 2023. I realized I never filmed this video yet, so I was like, oh, I need to film this now before it's way too late. As I'm filming this, it is, as you can see from my calendar back here, it is Monday the 26th of February and it's almost 12 p.m. the day I'm filming this. So go ahead and grab your drinks. I'm drinking a black iced tea. This is a homemade iced tea, but I use it in the Starbucks cup to make me feel like I got it from Starbucks, even though I didn't. So cheers, and let's get to talking about books. So in the month of December, I've read 10 books in December. Would help if I have my notebook, huh? So let's jump into my wrap up. I read 10 books for the month of December, which is amazing because that was like my second biggest month of reading in 2023, because I got into a lot of reading slumps in the year 2023, and we're hoping not to do that again. Sorry, my title of my notebook is like weird looking today. So sorry. But anyways, it was probably one of my biggest reading months of 2023. I was really happy with all the amount of books and pages I've read. I listened to some as audiobooks. I physically read some books. I borrowed some from my library. So if I don't have them, I'll just insert a picture on the screen. And so yeah, let's just jump into our reading stats for this month. So you guys already know I've read 10 books this month, which is amazing. My total page count for this month was 3,611 pages. And then my biggest book of the month, I don't want to mess up this stack. And then what's my smallest book? Okay, cool. My biggest book of the month for the month of December was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 2 of this 5-book series. Annotated it, talk more about this in a few minutes. My smallest book of the month is Star Wars The High Republic Quest for the Planet X by Tessa Granton. Really enjoyed this one, talk more about this one in a few minutes as well. And now I might have lost my page. So sorry for this video being a mess already. And then my least favorite was for, Star Wars From a Certain Point of View, book 3. This one just took me like all month, like 3 months to read, and it was such a big book for like no apparent reason. It was also my last book of 2023, so I had high hopes for this to be a 5-star read, but it wasn't, so here we are, future me putting a picture in. This is Star Wars From a Certain Point of View, book number 3 of the trilogy. And then my favorite book, another picture I have to put in, is Nightrender by Jodi Meadows. I picked this up on a whim because I knew I loved Jodi Meadows' writing, and I was correct. This was an instant 5-star read. I'll talk about this book here in a few minutes. And then my actual reading stats for the month, I had 0 1 stars, 0 2 stars, 3 3 stars, 3 4 stars, 4 5-star reads. 0 of these were ARCs, 6 of these are audiobooks, 0 book of the month picks, 2 of these were buddy reads I did with my friends, so I'll leave them down below. 1 was a book club pick, 2 of these were completed series, 1 is a graphic novel, 2 of these are library books, I think, right? 1, 2, yeah, 3 of these actually are library books. 3 are library books, 4 of these I physically read, 6 of these are 2023 new releases. 1 of these is an Owl Crate pick. 5 of these books I read was on my December TBR, which is amazing. I don't know how many carryovers I had. It was probably 0, so 0 carryovers. And 5 of the books I read are sequels. So we love that. And before we jump into the actual wrap up, I want to talk about my current read. So I'm currently reading, I'm actually almost finished with it. Oh my book. I'm almost finished reading A Shadow Crown by Melissa Blair. This is book 2 of the Halfling Saga series, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Lori right now, so I cannot wait to see how this book's in, because I don't know if you can see from my bookmark, but I'm that much left in the book, so I think there's like 10 chapters left or something like that, and I'm really dying to see how this sequel will end, because I hear a lot of people like cried, and they also got mad at the author for how this book ended. So I'm curious to see what my reactions would be. Hopefully you guys will see this in a weekly reading vlog coming from me soon. And then after this, I'm going to be picking up, if I have time in this week, I'm going to pick up A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the third and final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. That is a spin-off series to the Caraval universe, and I absolutely love Stephanie Garber. She's like an auto-author to me now, and I just can't wait to read this. So if I do read this one, I would complete another series off my list this year, which is amazing. And this is not only on my February TBR, it's also on my Readathon TBR for the month of February, so I'll leave both of those videos up above or down below. But yeah, this will be my next read after reading A Shadow Crown. Anyways, back to the wrap up. The first book in December I read was my first 5-star read of the month, and that was the highly anticipated, oh my gosh, I'm done with this notebook. Stay here. Ugh, sorry. I have the highly anticipated Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second installment of a 5-book series. I am really enjoying this series. I know the series has been getting mixed reviews and somewhat a little bit of hate on the internet, but honestly, these audiobooks are what's making me love this book series a lot, especially the voice of Taran. And I'm just like, I want more Taran in the next book. Like, that would be so cool if he can get his own point of view, because we don't really get a whole lot of him. I mean, we get what we get from Violet, but anyways, this follows our main character, Violet, who is raised in this war college-esque thing, and she's part of the first year group where she's a scribe, and she doesn't want to be the scribe, so she becomes a dragon rider just like her mother and her father before her. And so she goes on this journey of self-discovery, and there's a found family in here. There's character deaths left and right in this book, in book 1 and book 2. I honestly feel like I don't really need to talk much about this book except of how much I've enjoyed it. I believe I have a reading vlog of me reading this book, so I'll leave that up above or down below as well if you want to check that out. Honestly, it was a shocking ending, and I'm sad that we have to wait till December of this year for book 3, because I really need the third book. Like, all my annotations, I don't know if you guys can see it, but look how pretty those colors are. They blend in so well with the black edges. So I'm excited to see what book 3 is going to be about and where we go in book 3, because this literally left on a crazy cliffhanger. And I should have known that, because Rebecca Yarros teased that when we were at her book event in October. I'll leave that vlog up above or down below. Again, I don't really need to explain too much about this book and this book series because it's very hyped up. Just know I really enjoyed it, and it will be on my favorites list of 2023. So the next book that I've read... Sorry, I'm trying to get to my page. The next book that I read, these are backwards. Let me put these up the way that I need them to be. I read none other than The Housemaids by Frida McFadden. The reason why I picked this book up is because my friend Sydney, I don't remember her booktube channel name, but I know, I'll leave her Instagram down below, but my friend Sydney loved this book. She kept raving about this book all throughout the fall season, and she's like, Drew, I think you will love this book. And lo and behold, Sydney, you were right. Oh my goodness, this was a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed this one as well. Again, this is another hyped up adult thriller, and I was really shocked myself of me physically reading this book. I remember in December I went on a reading picnic for myself, and I just literally went to my park and just hung out at the park and just read like half of the book there, and I was so enthralled with this book that I forgot that it was getting dark outside. So I was like, oh, it's getting dark, time to head home. And even later that night, I kept staying up reading this book and finishing it, and I was blown away by this ending. Crazy ending. I have book 2 on my shelf. I think I'm supposed to be reading it in the month of March with my friends Sydney and Mandy. I'll leave both of the ladies' Instagram down below. But just know this was a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to read more by Freida McFadden. And I want if you guys have any thriller recommendations for me that is similar to The Housemaids, I would truly appreciate that, because I really love this. The only thing that I didn't love about this book, it was the change in the point of view of the narrator. So we follow the maid of the story, and then we switch to the house owner of the house, and that just kind of threw me off a little bit. But otherwise, it was still enjoyable, and I felt not terrible, but also terrible with one of the characters in this book. If you know, you know. This is also super hyped up on TikTok and Instagram, so I feel like I don't really need to say too much. It's a New York Times bestseller, so if you haven't read this yet, I definitely recommend this, and I can't wait to read book 2, and book 3 comes out on my birthday this summer, so yay for me. Next book I've read, and I borrowed it from my library, and that was Nightrender by Jodi Meadows. I've already talked about how much I love this book from the very beginning. This book was a 5-star read for me as well. I listened to this via audiobook, and I really enjoyed the characters. Rune was my new favorite, like, book boyfriend, as people would say. And honestly, I'm currently reading book 2 of this duology, and I'm scared to see how this one ends, because the ending of book 1 was not as brutal as other YA fantasy books or adult fantasy books, but it was definitely a crazy ending as well. And I'm currently reading book 2 in the middle of the duology, so I really love this. I have a weekly vlog of me talking about this book. Pretty much all these books I've talked about today are in a weekly vlog somewhere on my channel. The next book I've read was my shortest book in the month, which was Quest of the Planet for Planet X by Tessa Granton. This was the next book in the High Republic Phase 2 series that I needed to read, and if you can't tell by my shirt, I'm honestly a Star Wars fan through and through. I cannot believe I still have not continued on with my Phase 2 journey, but hopefully this year I will definitely continue on, because I'm so behind on this universe. Oh my goodness. There's like the 3rd phase is already out, I believe, so I need to get caught up on this. Maybe I'll do like a theme vlog of me reading all my High Republic books. I really enjoyed this one, although this one wasn't my favorite of the Phase 2 so far. It was still an enjoyable read because of how the audiobook was so immersive with audio effects and sound effects and all that. So it was a really fun read, but it wasn't my favorite, so I give this 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read after that was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and that was Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 4th and final installment of the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson, and honestly, if you love Skyward and you haven't continued on with the series, I don't know what to say about the series to make you pick it up, except that it follows a main character named Spencer, who she lives on this like sci-fi planet, obviously, and she is trying to become a pilot just like her dad, but her dad died in a tragic war, and they called her dad a traitor and all of this name calling stuff. It is really heart-wrenching and heartwarming at the same time. Really enjoyed this finale. I've cried in this finale as well, and I did not want to say goodbye to this universe, but I was happy to find out that there might be more coming from this universe, so that's super exciting. So yeah, Defiant by Brandon Sanderson was a 5-star read for me, and I can't wait to see where we go in this spin-off series. The next book I read and didn't give it full 5 stars, which I'll explain why. But I did finally get around to reading Warrior of the Wild by Teresa Levenseller. This is one of Teresa Levenseller's YA fantasy standalone novel, and I really enjoyed this. This has been on my TBR for years. I want to say I got it at like Barnes & Noble or Amazon or something like that. I know this was recommended to me by a bunch of my friends on BookTube, but yeah, I'm so happy that I read this and enjoyed it. The reason why I did not give this a full 5-star read for me like I thought I would is because I found this character, I forgot her name. What is your name? Razmir. I found her a little bit whiny at times, especially when she got sent off to be on her own. I won't say how or where. But if you don't know, this is a Viking story. It's a I don't know how to explain books. How do y'all explain books like this? All I know is that I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite Teresa Levenseller book, but she's still up there as an auto-buy author for me. There was a couple scenes in here with the main character that I wasn't a fan of, but overall the romance was cute. I love that we got a male representation in here as well. That's very cool to read about in a YA fantasy. We don't see a lot of that there nowadays, so very happy to say I've enjoyed this one as well. I give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I hope to read more from Teresa soon because honestly she's like an auto-buy author for me. The next book I read was my December book club pick, actually my January book club pick for Queer Reads, and that is Heartstopper Volume 5. Again, another hyped up book that I really don't need to talk too much about this one, but this follows our main character, Nick and Charlie. This is the 5th installment of their universe, and I can gush about this book so freaking much. I have a weekly vlog of me reading the whole entire book in like 2 hours. I had to take a couple breaks because, you know, you have to when you're reading. Especially when I was reading this one. I think it's in my clip, but I was like kind of blushing when I was reading this book. And if you know, you know. This is such a cute romance series. And it's only my one contemporary book and romance book that I read in the month of December, and that's super weird to me because I haven't been reading a whole lot of my contemporary books like I should be, but this one made me want to pick up more contemporary books after reading this, especially because I've on a Heartstopper hangover for this series because Volume 6, which will be the final installment of this series, doesn't come out till 2025, I think. Which is a long wait, but I'm happy to say I really enjoyed this one. This was a 5-star read for me, and I'm so happy that my book club, Queer Reads, which we read own and diverse voices, really enjoyed this book as well, and I was really happy of how this one wrapped up, and I'm curious to see where we would go in Volume 6, and curious to see how this whole graphic novel series will wrap up. And then the next book I read after that was one of my Owl Crate books, and I was honestly shocked of how much I loved this one. This book was recommended to me by my friend Donna over at Mom's Book Collection, and she recommended me The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This is Susan Dennard's first book of a new fantasy trilogy. I have book 2 right over there on my TBR cart, and then book 3 just got their cover reveal. Book 3 is now called The Whispering Night. Here is the stunning cover. I can't wait to see what goes on in book 2 and 3. So this is a first book in a YA fantasy trilogy that is going to get completed this year, and honestly, this blew me away of how much I love this book. We follow our main character named Winnie, or Wednesday. They call her Winnie. Yeah, Winnie Wednesday. And she finds out that there's, she wants like nothing more to join this Luminaries group to protect Winnie's town. And so she does that, and she wants to expose the like dark secrets of the town and everything. It's really hard for me to like describe books without like reading you the synopsis. Honestly, I think this author letter just describes the book the best. So it says, "Dear Owlcrate reader, welcome to Hemlock Falls. Your phone won't work and won't work here, and the residents will try to send you right back out again. Because here each night the monster rises in the forest, and the only people standing between those nightmares and the rest of the humanities are the luminaries. One clan to guard the forest each night of 2 weeks. 7 clans in total with unique virtues, cultures, and goals. Are you Patient Sunday? Are you a Studious Monday, a Warrior Tuesday, a Loyal Wednesday, an Ever Prepared Thursday, an Honorable Friday, a Power-Loving Saturday? Or are you perhaps one of the luminaries' sworn enemies, a magic-wielding Diana who wants to claim the forest power for yourself? Step inside and find out if you dare. But remember, the forest is dangerous for a luminary wanted, and not all my nightmares are confined in the dark." Like what? It sounds so good, and it was so good. I'm so happy that I read this, but I'm also kind of sad that Owlcrate never continue on with the series for their exclusive book series that they don't really do. But otherwise, I'm still happy that I'm continuing on with this trilogy, and hopefully I will complete this trilogy this year as well. I think book 3 comes out in October, so yeah, looking forward to reading the rest of this. If I haven't said it yet, this is a 5 out of 5 star read for me. And oh my goodness, I'm stumbling over my words. The next book I read, because it was perfect time to read around Christmas, it was also this is technically my shortest book of the month, because this was only 20 pages long, and that was The Last Shepherd by Travis Pond. I really enjoyed this. This was a cute contemporary novel that's set during Christmas time, and honestly I only read this because it was from my friend Dad's that he wrote. So yeah, super short, cute, easy read by an unknown author who hopefully will get popular one day, but really enjoyed it. Not gonna give a rating, but just know I enjoyed it. I don't know if that sounded rude or not. These books do not want to stay up today, huh? The last book, and my last book of 2023, was Star Wars from a Certain Point of View, book number 3. I've already talked about this, really enjoyed it, gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I definitely will be buying myself a finished copy here soon. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I read in the month of December and what I'm currently reading. How did you guys do in the month of December? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching my wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn your notification on so you don't miss any new videos coming from me soon. And without further ado, I'll talk to you guys down in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, leave a snowflake emoji or any type of snow emoji to let me know that you've been down in the comments. Bye guys!